Our topic for this video is mobilization. Mobilization is the pulling of reserves like the National Guard and making them active in the Army. Countries will enact this in anticipation of a threat or impending conflict. Mobilization is a clear sign that a country is expecting some kind of conflict and wants to be prepared for it. In the World War I simulation, both Serbia and Austria-Hungary will have given their speeches at the beginning of class for Day 2 or 1914. Then the teacher will ask if anyone wants to mobilize. Then their hands will go up. Now, in no particular order, you will mobilize each country that wants to. We do this during the period the first time so that they feel the intensity of this situation escalating out of control. Countries that maybe planned not to mobilize will now mobilize because their neighbors are. As an example, we'll mobilize the Central Powers. Just a little bit of advice: save copies of all the documents so that you can have starter documents for every time you do the simulation. I always save as with the period in front so I don't mess up the originals. That way you have a regular starting document to use every time, and you also have the documents that you're actually using for the simulation. So here we go on the map, and we're going to start our mobilization. We'll pull up the battle calculator, which has our mobilization chart on it. And we'll start with Austria-Hungary. And the first one up, they get 2250 in 1914. So we'll go here to A1 because we have to mobilize here. And that'll be 2274, I believe. And we'll go back to the chart. And what I like to do is I take that and I just delete it, because I've saved this. Well, I didn't save it, but I'm not going to save it for this example. But I would have saved this as a period. And now we go down to Germany for 1914, and it says 3800. So we'll bring the map up, and we're going to add 3800, which would be 4034. And the next one we need to do, delete that, is Ottoman Empire, 1075. So we go to that one, 1525. And so now we've mobilized all of the Central Powers, and we've cleared them off here so that we know. And we also save a battle calculator the same way as we do the maps, so that we know we keep one good and one that we're actually using for the simulation this time around. And we'd go through and we'd mobilize all the Allied ones the same way that we did the Central Powers. And that's pretty much mobilization. Now, mobilization will now occur outside of the classroom. So for when we get done with the simulation today, let's say today's 1914, and whatever they did for battles they did at the end of the period or during your prep period, you'll go in and going right back to the 1915, you'd do it all over again, and you would add all these mobilizations in so that the map was ready for the next day when you start class. Because once they mobilize the first time, it's automatic the rest of the way. They don't have to tell you they're going to mobilize, because mobilization, once it's initiated, it just continues on. And you do it every day. It doesn't take that long. You can do most of it in your head, but sometimes you have to use a calculator. So that's mobilization in World War I. Of course, in World War II, the only country that mobilizes is the United States, and so that's not really a problem. That's pretty easy to do.